What is an essential not so obvious skill in life? Sewing. I don't know why they don't teach this anymore. I have adults in my office who ask me to mend their clothes or sew a simple button. And also sending a letter. The fact that some people don't know how to send snail mail now amazes me. Knowing how to say no politely and assertively. It will save you countless hours and thousands of dollars. Basic computer skills. I work in a call center and it's absolutely baffling how poor people are with computers. It's 2019 people. If you're going to do your job on a computer you should know how to use it. How to plunge a toilet fast. Knowing when to shut up. Edit. Oh my gosh. Didn't think this comment would get so much love. Thank you guys for all the silver and gold. Just being reliable. It's amazing how far you can get professionally and in relationships by being the person people feel like they can genuinely depend on. So many are flakes. I moved in with my roommates after hanging out only a couple of times. When we sat down to talk living styles and logistics, they said one of the biggest reasons they felt secure in living with me was that each time we hung out, I arrived when I said I would, and the one time I was running late, I texted to tell them how much longer I would be, and then was there at that time. My golden rule in life is that I try and treat everyone I interact with as someone who can teach me something. Everyone you meet is better than you at something, and at the very least you can always learn something like patience or humor from them. It's a huge perspective shift when you always try and see the contributions or actions of others as inherently helpful to you. Even if someone does something that upsets you or is negative, approaching it as an opportunity to learn to be better makes life so much easier. To be able to read the room you are in. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Thanks for the silver and the gold, strangers. I really appreciate it. This sounds important, but I don't know what it means. Recognizing unspoken social cues in a group. Basically knowing not to say or do something because it would be frowned upon in the current setting. This is what many of the complaints against political correctness fail to grasp. So you mean I can never tell an edgy joke or tell a woman she's pretty? In the right context, go hard, but you shouldn't do those things without first reading the room. And if you do fail to read the room, or do it incorrectly, then you should be open to the backlash. Knowing how to pick your battles. Some fights just aren't worth having, either because the reward isn't worth the effort, or you can't win, even when you're 100% right. Sometimes you need to take less than what you want and move forward from there. Going even a little deeper than that, learning how insignificant most things are. The death of a loved one, some upending life event. Sure, that takes time and energy and active attention to process and move past/live with. But some of the stuff that we let affect us on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis ends up just being no more than a blip on the radar in 3 years, and something you don't remember past 10. Stuff going on at work, argument with a friend or siblings, car accident, etc. We let this stuff steal valuable time and energy from us when it's hardly something we'll think about in a few years. In the moment, in the present, it's difficult to view these things as what they are. But you can train yourself to respond to, oh my god, everything's fucked up, with yeah, but does it really matter? I usually do this by asking myself, what is the absolute worst case scenario here? The answer to this usually is not half as bad as your brain tricks you into feeling. It just takes consistency and practice. It will save years of life and stress and preserve relationships and allow you to be more content. Super valuable skill, not something we talked about enough. Knowing how to fail. By that I mean failing and not letting it break you or throwing a tantrum. Also, knowing that failing at something doesn't make you a failure, if that makes sense. Highly underrated ability here. I see college kids all the time who live in fear of failing and who go to pieces when it inevitably happens. Allowing yourself to say I don't know and I've changed my mind, rather than either making things up that you hope are right or doggedly defending a position in the face of changing evidence. Edit. I would also add that another related skill in life is being able to accept both of those phrases when another says them to you. Edit 2. By the way, I first heard it phrased this precise way in a song called Get It Right by Frank Turner. Felt like giving credit where it's due. Admit when you're wrong. Take responsibility for your actions and apologize, if necessary. Especially at work, this will get you so far. This is the thing that makes up people's minds about you. You will almost always be favored if you own up to a mistake, apologize for making it, and ask how to prevent it from happening again. We just cut a guy from training because he refused to take responsibility for any mistake that he made, which we would have been fine with considering he was in training, and mistakes happen when you're new. Relaxing in traffic. It's going to happen. You're going to be stuck in traffic, honking and flailing and freaking out, and changing lanes 6 times to get 1 or 2 car lengths ahead doesn't help anything. Learn how to patiently wait. I listen to audiobooks and actually look forward to my commute home. Having a sense of humor. I find it useful for when things go terribly wrong and or ironically wrong. I'm pretty convinced that there are some people who just fully lack a sense of humor. Like it's a congenital defect or something, like being born with a tail or extra fingers. I'm not an expert, but it's really the only thing I can think of to explain these people. They're the sort who laugh with the laugh tracks on sitcoms, but don't really understand why they're laughing. Tact. If a message needs to be transmitted, but you piss someone off with how you do it, they're no longer listening to what you say, just how you're saying it. As a lifelong 40-year-old blunt speaker, I still struggle with this. My entire professional career has been military and law enforcement, which are 2 professions that are slightly accommodating of this, but I still have to talk to myself in my head before I open my mouth in mixed company. I read somewhere, probably here on Reddit, that people won't remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And if you think back to a negative interaction with someone, it's true. You won't remember word for word what they said, and it won't even matter. You know that what they said made you feel angry / uncomfortable / upset. Knowing how to cook. It's not very feasible to live off of instant food, and eating out can be expensive. It can also lead to a healthier lifestyle, and you have more control over what goes into your meals. I personally believe cooking for yourself is the healthiest change you can make absolutely, no matter how much butter you think is too much in that pot of broccoli. I promise it's less than what the restaurant put in it. Being okay with being alone. Edit. I did not think this would get so many responses. And to add, thank you for the gold and silver kind Redditors. To add to my initial statement, being alone is one of the most important life skills you can ever have, because when you surround yourself with people constantly jump from one relationship to another, it's easy to lose yourself trying to please or fix someone else. When you are alone, you start to understand yourself more, start doing things you enjoy as there is no one else to please, laugh a little harder at movies. Because there is no judgment, and you really tap into parts of you that make you understand that pleasing someone else at your own expense is not worth it at all. Does it get lonely? Absolutely. But when you are willing to move away from the comfort zone of solitude and spend time with people, or make an effort in a relationship, you know it's real, because there is nothing those people can give you that you don't give yourself already. Edit 2. Thanks for the cake day wishes everyone. A lot of people never learned how to swim. It's pretty easy to learn. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're in water and don't know what to do, regardless of how likely it is. Edit. It's been pointed out a lot that even just learning to float and not panic is something important. And also, I get it. It's not easy for everyone, but there are a lot of people who have never even tried, and that's mainly why I'm saying it. Knowing when to walk away. If the conversation is over, say see ya and walk the F away. Standing there for another 30 seconds cause you think it's rude to leave is weird as F and awkward. Normal workplace conversations last a couple minutes, tops. Go away, Carol. Writing a professional email. It's insane how many emails I get from people applying for positions, and they sound like they are texting their BFF. Edit. Thanks for my first silver, kind stranger. Knowing how to speak up when something isn't right. Way too many people have a fear of interjecting or confrontation of any kind. Don't like the way your hair is cut? Tell them. Did I F up and buy the wrong thing? Let me know. No one's a mind reader and your silence oftentimes just makes things worse. Troubleshooting. Knowing how to describe problems and find solutions touches every part of life, not just technology. If you can troubleshoot, you can save yourself time, money, and heartache.